See? Thank you so much for being here, and I'm glad to be here. I was actually I was in Orlando this week, visiting my son, who is now home with me, but not at services tonight. But he's actually not only is he going to be there tomorrow, he's doing shachari. I'll probably make the same joke tomorrow. What does it cost? Something like I don't know, $35,000 a year for shachari to get it. That's what I'm paying for in tuition, right? So one service plus, tuition plus room and board and all that good stuff. Anyway, we are going to, and if you don't have a college-age kid yet, that's an underestimate for you, okay? Almost, right? Okay. All right, let's go to page 5. Sing a new song. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruch shemo basru miyom leyom yeshuato, zafru v'goyim kevodom, v'chol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai, u'mulal me'od, norahu, al kol Elohim ma'ayinai, ki kol Elohim ha'amim elim v'Adonai shamayim asa, od v'hadar v'emanam, od v'tiferet b'mikdashu, avol Adonai mifechot amim, avol Adonai kavod va'oz, avol Adonai keod shemo, se'u mincha u'lechatzrotav ha'yayinai, yiftachavu Adonai be'ad ha'koris, yinu mipanav kol ha'aretz, imru v'goyim Adonai malach, avtikon tevel v'al timot, yadin amim v'mesharim, yifu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, yiram hayam u'me'od, yanu sadai v'chol asher bo, ayayna aziranenu kol hatzeyar lifnei Adonai kiva lishmot haaretz, lishmot od tevel v'tzedek v'amim v'emunato, ay nay 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 Let's jump to page 12. Rendezvous Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu Har kocho, rendezvous Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kocho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Adonai Eloheinu romemu, Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kocho. We are now on page 13, Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu l'Adonai B'neinim, Havu l'Adonai, Kavod ba'oz, ay, Havu l'Adonai, Kevod shemo yishtachavu l'Adonai ve'ador kodesh, Kol Adonai, al hamayim el hakavod hirim, Adonai, al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai, ba'kovach, ay, Kol Adonai, ve'adar Kol Adonai, shover arazim, shover Adonai, et arze almanon, vayarkirem kemo egel, lebanon, ve'esirion, כמו ונרעבים, איי, כל אדוני, עוזב לעבוד אש, כל אדוני, יגיל מדבר, יקיל אדוני מדבר קרש, כל אדוני יכול אל איילות, ויחסו יערות, ומחלו, כולו עובר כבוד, איי, אדוני, למה בו יחשב הישב, אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את דמו בשלום. היי, Chadodi, page 15. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ונפילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. Page 17. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונהילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ונשמה נקבלה. We rise and face the entrance, welcoming the Shabbat bride. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי, דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ונשמה נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, ונשמה נקבלה. We say to any mourners in our midst, may God comfort you with all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We are on page 19. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודו לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך ברחוב. עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי גיון מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. We continue silently. Tzadika tamar yifrach, kerez balvanon yizke shetunim, beit Adonai bechatzro Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenun Shemim verananim yiyu lehagid, ki yashar Adonai tzuri v'to avlatavo. Adonai melach geu lavesh, lavesh Adonai osit azar, aftikon tevel ba'otimo, lachon kisachad me'ez malamata. Sunerot Adonai, Sunerot Kolam, Yisunerot Odyam. Mikolot Maim, Maim Rabim Adirim, Nishbeheyam, Adir Bamarom, Adonai. Adonai, le'olech yamim. Please rise for Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. Baruch Hu et Adonai ha-mevorach. Baruch ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch et Adonai eloheinu melech haolam asher bifaro ma'ariv haravim. You may be seated. V'kayam Shamidim lo chalenu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv haravim. Ahavat olam v'beit Yisrael, amcha avetam. Rabbeinu Kumeinu Nasiach Bechukecha Benishmach B'divrei Toratecha U'mitzvotecha Le'olam Bo'ed Ki im Chayenu Be'orech Yameinu Uvahem Nege Yomam V'layla Nege Yomam V'layla Be'avatecha Al Tasir Bimeinu Le'olamim Baruch Ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael Page 45 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Alevavecha Vishinantam Levanecha V'dibartavam V'shivtecha V'veitecha Uvletecha V'derech Uv'shokbecha Uv'kumecha Ukshartam Leod Al Yadecha V'ayuletotafot Beinenecha Uktavtam Al Mezuzot Beitecha Continue silently. Tizkuru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet Adonai Elohechem emet Page 32. Malchut Tov Ratzon Kiblu Aleihem Moshe Bnei Yisrael Chadesh Rabba Simcha Rabba V'yamru Chulam Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha netar b'kodesh Ora tehilot Osef eleh Ora tehilot Osef eleh Adonai Elam ha'el Malchutecha Bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe Ze Eli Anu ונאמר כברת יעקב, כלום חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו, לחיים ושלום, מעתה ועד עולם. Start this side of the room. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom. Ashkivenu Adonai, Lulechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom. Ashkivenu Lulechayim. Rosalina Sukkot Shlomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Aprei Sukkot Shlomelena, B'Kol Israel, V'al Yerushalayim. Please rise for Vishamru. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, la'asor et HaShabbat, ledotam berit olam. B'nei v'b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam. Oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, la'asor et HaShabbat, ledotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim, ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Page 35. Yikral v'ikra shemei Rabbah, Yamad yifrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayei Baruch yom echad v'vayireh kol bnei Yisrael ma'agala zman kariv yimeru Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'almei almaya yifar Yibarach v'ishtabach v'barbaron v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei kedusha Rehu le'la mikol berchata v'shirata tushbecha tavenechem v'atam tamiran v'alma v'meru Amen. Private Amidah, pages 37 through 48. Ose shalom bimromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. So Jacqueline was going to be leading services tonight if my planes were delayed, but I got here, so I'm going to make her lead the next section because she was all ready to go. So thank you so much, Jacqueline.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים במאמרו האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי בם רצה להניח להם כי בם רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבור ביראה ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מעין הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת ובורך שביעי ומניח בקדושה ליום מקדוש נעונג זכר למעשה בראשית אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בשובתך וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך וענוהו בישראל מקדש שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Page 53. יגדל ויקרא שמי רבה, ויעמד ברכר תביאם לחמכותי, וחייכון ובמיכון ובחיינו בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה. לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ועלמה וימרו. תתקבל צלותהון ובאותהון דכל ישראל, קדם ובהון דבישמיה וימרו. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו והכל ישראל וימרו. עושה שלום במרומה, ויעשה שלום עלינו והכל ישראל, והכל יושבי תבל וימרו. אמן.
Yasher koach.
Thank you, Jen. All right, so we are now in, I think, the third week of our history of Temple Beth Abraham, not necessarily in order, but in case you have not been here, what I'm doing is every week I'm talking a little bit about different aspects of the history of our synagogue, mostly through letters that I have and other things in files of former members, most of whom have passed away, but some who have not, some who are still living, and just little tidbits. But right now I'm trying to do the early history. And so last week I talked about the Berkovich family in particular, and this week I want to give a little information about some of the other founders, at least the ones who were famous enough to make the history books, meaning like the one book written about the history of the Jews of Oakland by Fred Rosenbaum. And basically what I have their names and what they did for a living. One of the most interesting projects that I actually did in rabbinical school was when my American Jewish history professor, Jacob Rader Marcus of blessed memory, he would assign you a topic. Every student would assign a different topic, or you could choose somewhat. He wanted me to do a paper on the Jews of Charleston, South Carolina in late 1700s, early, and how did I do it? He wanted me to just look through the primary source of the equivalent of the white pages at the time, which listed their street addresses and their occupations. And believe it or not, I wrote like a 40-page paper just on that. I mean, unbelievable. In any case, so here are some of our folks, in addition to the Berkoviches. We had Sam Clark. Now, and some of these people are going to come in later weeks too when I get to various letters. But Sam Clark, he had a big office equipment company. And in fact, at one time, this is way later, but the BYO chapter in Oakland was named after him in the late 80s, early 90s, when Jess Riegelhoff, who's a member now, was the president. The kid was the president. So anyway, he was in office equipment, but here's the thing, he had only an 8th grade education, but he became very famous, or very successful, and also philanthropic and involved in the Jewish communities, so that he became president of the Jewish Federation in the 40s or 50s, whatever that was. And that was a really big deal and says a lot actually about what the East Bay was like compared to San Francisco. San Francisco was still almost entirely run, the Jewish community, by German Jews who had been in this country for much longer, were much better educated, and to be honest, snobbier, more assimilated. And you're going to actually hear a little bit about that tomorrow too, because it has to do with Rabbi Saul White. Long story, but you have to come tomorrow or listen to it tomorrow. But in any case, this was Sam Clark. It says something not only about who was a member of our congregation and him, but the kind of Jew that we had in the East Bay and how we were just more democratized and just sort of more of a Jewish American dream was happening sooner. The next was Sam Katzberg, who was in the fruit business and sold fruit to markets and stores. He's going to come into the picture later because he has a lot to do with the history of women in our congregation and when and how they could be part of the ritual matters. it's weeks from now, but you'll have to, not that I have it planned. I don't know what's next week even, but I can tell you we're going to have that. Saul Quitman, he had a haberdashery and sold like Pendleton tweeds and the like. And he was the same guy who sold the life seats so we didn't have to close the doors when we couldn't pay for the building during the Depression. There was Maurice Lerner, who had a scrap metal and hardware business. There was Coleman Gluck, who ran the Union Hide Company, which was tanning and leather. And Jerry Hertz told us last week that he had a private plane at some point, like pretty early on. And finally, Louis Engelberg, who I found the most interesting only because he became successful in the wine business in the early, in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Now, he didn't have a winery. He had vineyards, and he sold the grapes to other wineries. And actually, he may have started in the 20s because I think he started during Prohibition. He owned the first, however, he was legitimate. Now I say that, and this is no dig at Beth Jacob, it just is part of the history of the Jews of Oakland. Their rabbi was selling wine out of the synagogue during Prohibition and got in big trouble for it. Whereas Louis Engelberg was selling it to, to churches and synagogues and the like. Now, he had the first vineyard in Glen Ellen, apparently, and had somebody running, so I guess it may have become a winery, but there was never a Louis Engelberg winery. Today, the wineries that are descended from Louis Engelberg are the Valley of the Moon Winery and Little Vineyards. I don't know either of them, but I'm gonna. You know them?
Valley of the Moon, yeah.
All right, excellent. So, Valley of the Moon Winery and Little Vineyards. So, they're on the Sonoma side of the, So, we should all go there and taste their wine. As it is wine blessed and descended from Chocolate Abraham. So that's all I got for tonight. I just interesting things about our founders, and who knows what we'll hear next week? We'll hear something, but we are going to now continue with our service with the Kiddush. Please rise. Page 55. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavat ratzon hilanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom tekilah l'mikrayei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yama uvratzon, inchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh ha'shabbat. Amen. L'chaim, to life. If you are with children or anyone else you feel comfortable blessing, I know we've got a few people with their kids here, hands on their heads or shoulders. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe, Yisimech Elohim ke'Sar Rivka Rachel v'Leah, Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, V'Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace. Amen. Remain standing for the Aleinu, page 57. Aleinu l'shameach v'adon ha'kol. V'teinu la'aleu serereshi, shelo atzanu kigoyei haratzot, v'lo utzanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo l'melkeinu kahem, v'kol aleinu k'kol ha'anam, anamnu korim, u'mishtachvim u'modim, Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim Ve'yosei Haaretz U'Moshe V'Karo B'Shamayim Mima'al U'Shchinat Kuzo Be'Gofei Miromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato Kakatu B'Torato V'Yadata Be'Hashivota El Levavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Hashamayim Mima'al V'Haaretz Mitachat Eino. Kakatu b'Toratecha Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz hayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemahu echad. We may be seated as we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends as yard sites we observed during the coming week, thinking especially tonight of Sheldon Bereskin, Jacob Bernstein, Miriam Pepin Dahan, Rose Dancer, Nathan Denenberg, Ruth Eisenman, Lena Fass, Alfred Feldhammer, Lima Frankel German, Harold Charles Goldberg, Max Gross, Irving Grutman, Doris Held, George Hockman, Helen Holloman, Irene Kahn, Meyer Kranz, David Lazar, Yetta Laserwitz Miller, Mark Leon, Richard Mailman, Minette Mogul, my maternal grandfather Ben Nathan, Philip Nathanson, Rabbi Chaim Goren Perlmutter, the Ramick family, Sarah Libby Reich, Abby Rockmaker, Rose Rosenberg, Sally Simon, Goldie Steinberg, Norman Stone, Michael Wallerstein, Herman Zubkoff. We're in the Shloshim for Sid Horowitz, Marie Lorenz, Martin Rosenthal, and Michael Rappaport. And we are in the Shiva for Sidney Gordon, the father of Jonathan Gordon. And Jonathan, our thoughts are most definitely with you. And Shirley Fryer, the mother of Matthew Fryer, and our thoughts are with the Fryerman family as well, who are here today. May the memories of all of them be with us. May we ask now anyone who is observing Yortzeit or is in Shiva Shloshim or in the year of mourning, anyone else who wishes to rise for the mourner's Kaddish on page 61. Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'Yalma Divrach Yerutei v'Yamlich Malchutei v'Chayecho v'Yomecho v'Chayecho Beit Yisrael v'Agalah v'Zman Kariv Yimru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam L'Olmei Almaya Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitba'ar v'Yitrovam v'Yitnaseh v'Yitadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shmei Kudusha v'Richu Le'elam Yikol Berchata v'Shirata Tush Berchata v'Nechemata Tamiran v'Yalma v'Yimru Yehi Shlama Rama Min Shemaya v'Chaim Aleinu v'El Kol Yisrael v'Yimru Usei Shalom b'Mama Uyasei Shalom Aleinu v'El Kol Yisrael v'Yimru Amen. Zipronam Livracha. May the memory of the people you've come to say Kaddish for be a blessing to you always. And let us say Amen. Too many tonight, but you do them honor by being here, all of you. All right, some announcements. Tomorrow, services are at 9:30. The lunch will include, it'll be Israeli food of some sort, I'm sure, because the caterer is Eliza. It's always delicious. It says there's mahjong, but I'm sure that that's not true because Karen is out of town, so I don't think it's happening. Is it possibly in? Yeah, okay, so, all right. We have the next TBA film is December 19th. On the Map is the name of the film. Tomorrow there's also Junior Congregation and Shabbat Mishpacha, and our regular classes will be taking place as well. And our Sunday study, our Wednesday text study, our Minyan Monday and Thursday, so the normal stuff also. Anyone else know of any announcement? All right, well, I want to thank our board member, Drew Kessler, for reading tonight. And I want to thank Josh Mailman for streaming and sending this out to YouTube. And we do have one family with us for the first time tonight, and half of them are still in the room. So tell us your names again. Lillian and Jonathan, they live in Alameda, a sixth grader and a homeless kindergarten. Welcome to Japanese Street, they live in Alameda. All right, so I'm thrilled that in all likelihood, God willing, it's going to rain again this week, so we're going to sing Ushaftet Mayim Bisason, may the wells of water. So yeah, I didn't fast this year, and this is going to help me avoid such a fate. What was that? I'm sorry, I can't understand what the mask is. Okay. Medicine? Michael Nesbitt. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, it's completely out of context, and I was on a plane all day also, so remember, be a blessing. It might make the end of the year countdown, we'll see. It's not in the book, this song, though. Ushaftet Mayim Bisason, Imanei HaYeshua. Ushaftet Mayim Bisason, Imanei HaYeshua. Mayim, 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 Mayim. Hey, Mayim Bisason, Mayim, 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 Mayim. Hey, Mayim Bisason. Hey, 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 hey. Mayim, 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 Mayim Bisason. Mayim, 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 Mayim Bisason. Ushaftet Mayim Bisason, Imanei HaYeshua. Mayim Bisason, Imanei HaYeshua. Mayim, 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 Mayim. Hey, Mayim Bisason, Mayim, 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 Mayim. Hey, Mayim Bisason. Hey, 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 hey. Mayim, 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 Mayim Bisason. Mayim, 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 Mayim Bisason. Shabbat Shalom.